Good morning to you. I am Mark Sudduth, and here's what's up in the tropics for Thursday, the 4th of August, 2022. You guessed it, the Atlantic Basin, nice and quiet. Looks like it will remain that way over the next several days. So let's move over to the Eastern Pacific. See that area in yellow there, trying to sneak off the left side of the shot? No worries, low probabilities of development. So if you have interest out in Hawaii, this won't pose any problems for you. The area in red, that is well on its way to becoming our next tropical storm. Again, the Eastern Pacific, just kind of the sweet spot globally for tropical cyclone activity. But as I mentioned in a previous update, it's not like we're having Category 4 and 5 hurricanes one after the other in the Eastern Pacific, despite how busy it has been. More of your garden variety, kind of lower end hurricanes when we've had them. Darby was pretty strong. But other than that, nothing too exceptional in the Eastern Pacific. Satellite animation of the area, there's the disturbed weather there that'll eventually go on to become the next tropical storm. It should stay well off the coast of Mexico, so no problems for you folks down there, including the Baja. In the Atlantic Basin, there's an upper level low spinning in the southwest Atlantic to the south and west of Bermuda, north of the islands there. Gulf of Mexico, some cloudiness, but no deep thunderstorm activity, more of your low cloud variety there. Same for the Caribbean, where, look at that, some pretty strong upper level winds cutting across the Caribbean for the time being. And then in the Atlantic Basin, that little milky color you see, well, it's not really little, it actually covers a pretty large area. That is the Saharan air layer, that stratocumulus deck, indicating a very stable air mass. But that is a pretty strong tropical wave, some deep thunderstorm activity trying to make its way off the west coast of Africa. Remember, it is only August 4th. We still have a couple of weeks until, climatologically speaking, we really start to ramp things up. I believe things will start to get a lot more active in the Atlantic Basin, as they should this time of year. So the Saharan air layer is still certainly prevalent. However, again, I pointed this out yesterday, the reds and the pinks there, they are definitely lifting more to the north. So a larger area of the main development region out here, off the coast of Africa, extending out into the Atlantic, is becoming a lot more moist. There is less dry air intrusion. It's getting to be confined more to the north and west, and that'll just continue. All of that will lift more to the north. The pressures will lower. In the tropical Atlantic, we'll have more converging air, a slowing of the trade winds, a more moist environment, more spin in the atmosphere. All of that's going to come together. It's just taking some time, and I think once it launches, it's just going to be one system after the other, probably through the month of October. But interesting to see the pattern changing slowly but surely out here across the Atlantic. All right, so real quick, a look at the GFS. There's the storm that's going to try to develop eventually in the Eastern Pacific. And look, it just stays busy out there, one system after the other. GFS spitting out 3 total systems there on the 6Z run. That's pretty remarkable, but again, none of these are particularly intense. They just kind of form, going out into the open Pacific, and that is that for the most part. The Atlantic Basin, just to show you this real quick, yes, there are tropical waves that come off of Africa, those impulses of energy, but they're not developing right now. But like I said, give it a couple more weeks or so, and the pattern should gradually become more conducive for further development across the Atlantic. And I think that'll be reflected in what Dr. Phil Klotzbach is going to say later today. This is the tweet from yesterday. That's why it says the forecast will be updated tomorrow. Tomorrow is now today. And in fact, in just a little while after I cut this video, he will release the seasonal outlook update. It's kind of like when a coach makes a change in the roster or the players, maybe a basketball game or football or baseball. You want to take the pitcher out, put somebody else in that's doing better perhaps. Same kind of deal. You look at the situation at hand and you make an update. It works for sports. It works for meteorology. New data coming in. I don't think there'll be a big change, maybe a lowering of the overall numbers just a little bit to account for the basically, innocent July that we had. Otherwise, I think peak season, August, September, October, especially later in the month, is going to be very, very busy. And I think that still gets reflected in what Dr. Klotzbach and NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, they will be updating their forecast later today as well. And you'll see that all over Twitter and elsewhere, I am sure. All right, that is it for me for today. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Thanks as always for tuning in to What's Up in the Tropics. I am Mark Sudduth. I'll be back with more for you tomorrow morning.